the sound of this bike. Hey guys, it's been a bit. A little reason why I haven't been making a video or anything really since I got the Streetfighter. My GoPro decided to die. It just stopped working. It was a Hero 4, so I mean, it's definitely lived quite a long life. But it was kind of a bummer because the setup video that I made was supposed to have me also unboxing the Streetfighter from the crate, and all of that footage got corrupted. And then my first ride video, which is me riding at home for the first time, all of that got a little shitty. I was able to save some of the footage and kind of make a little bit of a video. I mean, the camera angle was really bad because my GoPro was put in a different layout and all sorts of things that just kind of ruined it. And so I kind of made do with what I had, but my GoPro Hero 8 Black just came in the other day. I did some test footage with the Super View on it, and it captures quite a lot. So yeah, I'm ready to start making videos again. Also, I had some family stuff too, so I would have made videos sooner, but I'm not going to get into details, there's no need for it. But yeah, there's some family stuff, and I had to take care of that first and get all of that you know, figured out before I started getting back to my life as normal. But I'm here today for a Streetfighter V4 review. As you can see on my dash, I have my little service light there saying I need to do my first service, which was supposed to be done last week, but you know, life. So yeah, this is at, you know, just over 600 miles, 634 to be exact. These are kind of my impressions. And oh, this bike, oh man, I just love this bike so much. Hold on. It just sounds so good, even with the stock exhaust, which I was very impressed with. I really didn't think it was going to sound magnificent. Like, I've heard Panigale V4s and whatnot, so I had an idea, but I just felt like it wasn't going to sound great in person, and I'm so wrong. Like, I'm not even looking into exhaust that much because I'm totally content with the way it sounds. The versatility of this motorcycle, like, I can, you know, I'm doing 4th gear, 35, third gear, around 35 miles an hour, around 4K RPMs, and there's just so much power. Like, I'm not even like cracking the throttle. Like, there's just power wherever I want it, all the way up until 10K, and then when 10K hits, like, it's a fucking rocket ship. Like, there's more power that unlocks at that point. It baffles me how fantastic this bike is, and I'm totally biased because I own it. Like totally biased because I own this bike, but I'm gonna try and do a fairly unbiased review. It's just beautiful. Like, the seating position is fantastic, really it is. Handlebars are just high enough to where you get a sporty feel, but you're still kind of comfortable. The pegs, I think if I was a little taller, it would probably be a little bit uncomfortable because they are kind of aggressive, but they're not super far back and they're not super like high up. They're kind of right in the sweet spot, right in the middle. I guess I should say what model Streetfighter I have. I have the standard version, and I mentioned why I bought the standard in my first ride video, but I wanted to reiterate it because I was so baffled and just so awestruck at the bike when I was riding it for the first time that I couldn't really speak. And I still get that way sometimes. This bike leaves me speechless. But the reason I got the standard one is, one, I mean, price for sure. I wasn't willing to pay an extra 5K or so just for Olin suspension and electronic Olin suspension and lighter wheels. Like, I'm never gonna notice a difference with the lighter wheels. Like, this bike's way out of my skill level, like way out of my skill level. So there's no need for me to get like even more higher performance parts. So the lighter wheels, just it wasn't a good selling point for me. And then the electronic suspension, I just, like, again, I'm not going to be using this bike to its limits or even remotely close to its limits. And so I don't really need super high performance suspension. I am thinking about upgrading the current suspension, just the cartridges, because when I had help setting up the suspension, I bottomed out the front because I must have gained a wee bit of weight during the pandemic. So I might do that later on, but I didn't want to have the computer and the electronic capabilities of the suspension because it doesn't seem necessary. It's like you set your suspension and you're done. That's it. Like, I'm not going to be messing with it all that often. Like, I'm not going to be constantly tweaking it and like setting it up for so many different things and whatever. It doesn't seem necessary to have it electronically controlled, and it's just another part that could fail. So I just kind of want to limit the amount of parts that can fail because Ducatis are already overly complicated. I do really like the quick shifter on this. I've never owned a bike with a quick shifter. The quick shifter can get kind of finicky though. There's like a weird, like, I don't want to call it a sweet spot because it's not a good thing, but it's like the right spot on the throttle where it's like almost just closed, but you're still giving it a little bit of gas. If you use the quick shifter, sometimes it freaks out and like doesn't fully shift, and the whole bike kind of jerks around, and it gets a little scary. So that's my only gripe about the quick shifter. But that's like, if you're using the quick shifter, you should be just fucking getting on it. Like, you shouldn't have to worry about the throttle being slightly open and like almost closed, because yeah, that's not the purpose for it. But on the bright side, the quick shifter does work pretty well at lower RPMs. Like other bikes that I've ridden at work, their quick shifters or shift assist, depending on the company that made it, they don't like lower RPMs. They get kind of jerky, they stutter a little bit, it's not smooth. But this I can use all the time. I love this bike. Like, I really I can't complain about it. The only downsides I've really heard about this bike are the seat is too sticky. I've heard that some people don't really like the gas tank, which I think the gas tank looks fine. They said there wasn't really a good spot to put your knees. But I found that if you scoot your ass all the way to the back of the seat and you tuck your knees in right there, there's a pretty good spot for it, and that allows you to kind of full tuck if you're, going to do that. So I don't really think that's a valid point. I think it was just nitpicking, and they were just trying to find something to, say bad about it just because they needed to in the review. So I mean, I guess that's the seat being too sticky doesn't make sense to me because it's a sport bike. It's meant to have a sticky seat so you don't fly off. I'd much rather have a sticky seat than like my Z1000 where you like roll off the throttle and it slams your nuts into the gas tank. I'd much rather be stuck to the seat than have that. This bike just pulls no matter where you are in the rev range. Like, it's just got power everywhere, and it's so smooth too. Like, going really fast it doesn't feel like it. Like, I did a fast speed, let's just put it that way, that may or may not have been triple digits. And I didn't even notice. Like, I didn't even do it on purpose. I was just like, well, I'm gonna give it some beans. And, well, yeah, I was like, oh, I need to slow down right now. Like, it doesn't feel that way. It does not feel like it's fast. The only indicator that you have of it being fast is the amount of wind that hits you. And I guess that's my main complaint. But I mean, if you're buying a naked bike, like, why are you worried about wind? Like, there's nothing to protect you from wind. Like, that's part of buying a naked bike. Like, that's the thing. So it's not even a really big complaint. It's just kind of, it can get annoying sometimes. And granted, I don't ride it that fast all the time anyway, so there's like, I don't really have to deal with it. But like, yeah, I can see how it would get annoying on super long distances, and I know they make windscreens for it, but in my opinion the windscreens are just awful looking. Like, it just doesn't add to it. It's just not a good looking accessory for it. But yeah, I'm not gonna put one on there because I got a naked bike. I fully expected the wind to be a little annoying. And yeah, it's only annoying like above, I'd say 85, maybe around there. And I don't know a lot of people that are going for like just a joyride cruise and they're chilling above 85 for a very long time. So I mean, I can't speak for everyone, but you know what I'm saying. I guess I should talk a little bit about the Streetfighter. Like, 1, why I got it, 2, a little history about it, 3, power and, you know, dyno runs and whatever, like all that specification stuff that people always love. So I've seen a few different dyno run charts for it. It seems that it's like around 179 to the wheel, which is ridiculous. And I think it was like mid 80 foot-pounds for torque. So I mean, it was still quite a bit. Like, it's a fast bike. Ducati says that it makes 208 horsepower and 90.3 or 0.4 foot-pounds of torque. Like, that's a fast bike. And it comes with full Showa suspension. I think the rear's Showa, but the front's fully adjustable, the rear's adjustable. It's non-electronic, as you can see. It has a Showa steering dampener, which I like. I've been wanting a steering dampener on a bike for quite a while. This bike also comes with quick shifting up and down. It has traction control, wheelie control, it has ABS, it has cornering ABS, which I think is cool. It basically, there's like a gyroscope, and that will, when you're going through a corner, if you hit brakes, your ABS is active, but it knows that you're in a corner. So it's not gonna act the same as, God, I slowed down way too much for that turn. It's not gonna act the same as if you were going in a straight line and hit your brakes and the ABS activated. But this bike has cool little wings on the side, and those aren't just for show, even though the way that I'm gonna be using this bike, they're pretty much just for show. It, at around, I think 160 miles an hour, maybe, it might be less, I think it's lower. I think it's more like 140, around there. Well, you gotta be going fast. They'll do about 28 kilograms of downforce, which is cool. They're basically a spoiler on a car, but in the front of it and on a motorcycle, and they look way cooler than any spoiler. It's stupid to say, but that's one of the reasons why I really wanted this bike, is because of the wings. I just think they look super cool. I do know there's 3 different modes. You have street mode, sport mode, and then you have race mode. And if I'm remembering correctly, race mode basically turns almost everything off. I think if it's not all the way turned off, it has it turned down to the lowest setting. Sport mode's kind of in between race mode and street mode. The difference though is the engine. It says engine is medium, and what that is, it's the input of the throttle. So it's the difference between like quarter and half throttle. So in race mode, your quarter throttle would be like your half throttle in sport or street mode. And I think you can do custom modes, because you can turn like quick shifting up and down off to where it's just up, or completely off. You can adjust the ABS, the traction control, wheelie control, all sorts of fun stuff. So you can mess around with those and get them the way that you want and your preference. So it's kind of like having a custom rider mode. Actually, let's see. Where is it? Oh god. Where is it? Oh, I went right past it. So yeah, we got street, sport, race. I don't see a custom, so I totally lied to you guys. Cool thing that a lot of Ducatis now have, I think pretty much all of them except maybe the Scrambler. I think even the Scrambler has it, but you can get a pin code. So this isn't a key fob, as you can see. It's a normal key. Oh, I gotta start moving. It's a normal key, but you have a pin code, which I'm not really sure how it works for this, but it basically just deactivates the immobilizer. Because after I sold the Z1000, I knew that I wanted a brand new bike, and I knew that it was going to be, you know, a leader bike. I just didn't really know what I wanted. Like, I thought about the Z900s, the Super Duke, like a few other bikes, and I don't know, nothing really caught my eye. And when I learned about the Streetfighters, the 1098 specifically, I basically jizzed myself. Like, I was like, these bikes are amazing, I love them so much, I want one. And I made the joke about Ducati putting a V4 engine in a Streetfighter because I thought that'd be badass. And it had to have been like a week later where they announced it, that they were making a Streetfighter V4. And I was like, damn, I can see the future. And so I got a little excited about that. So I started following this bike since like day one, you know, like I heard rumors about it, and so I was following it, trying to find as much info as I can, and I'm kind of lost. Where am I? But yeah, I was trying to find as much info on the bike as I could, and I just did every little bit of research that I could find, and it was all at the time like just motorcycle magazines just kind of guessing at what the bike would be. So they were using like information on like what they did with the 1098 Superbike and the 1098 Streetfighter. They kind of just went from that and made an assumption. And they were most of them were pretty spot on with what this bike turned out to be. As I learned more about it, as more information came out, it was just cool because I learned a little bit of what Ducati wanted to do with this bike. So they wanted you to have crazy, like, rip you off the seat power. Like, it feels like it's gonna tear you off the seat when you really get on it. Like, you gotta hold on. But Ducati wanted a bike that you could cruise the streets with, you know, an urban motorcycle, and something that you could just blow the doors off of any car, blow the non-existent doors off of any motorcycle, and they did it. This is it. That is what they did, and they did it right. They did it so damn right that it just amazes me. I've never, like, every bike I've gotten on, there's always been something. And you can call me a bit of an elitist or whatever, or like I'm just cynical, I don't know, but a perfectionist maybe. But every bike I've gotten on, there's always been something that just was off. The more I read into this motorcycle, the more I realized that this is everything I want in a bike. It has Ducati's full safety package. It's got the steering dampener, which would have kind of saved me when I crashed my Z1000, so that was a big one. I needed that. It's also a nice break on insurance. You know, when insurance companies find out that you have all of that on your bike, they tend to be a little more happy, and they like to lower your rates a bit. So there was a ton of stuff that just caught my eye. The bike is sexy. I mean, I'll throw a picture up of it, or I'll do a walk around when I get back to a stopping point. The bike's just sexy. Like, everything about it, it's clean lines, it's swooping lines, but it's still so aggressive. And fun fact, actually, the front end, and I'll post a picture comparison that Ducati used. The front end, or the headlight assembly, is based off of the Joker from Batman. So you can kind of see where like the receding hairline would be, the really slim cut face, like going down to the point on the headlight is similar to, you know, going down to the point of his chin. And they did a really cool concept picture of the Joker and compared it nice to the concept of the Streetfighter's headlight. I should probably talk a little bit about the cons, because I've been just babbling about how much I love this motorcycle. My real own personal con on this bike is that your range isn't very far. I mean, hold on, no, I'm not going through that light. Your range really isn't that far. So my trip will get to about 84, 85 miles, and my light will go on, my gas light will go on, which, not really far. It's almost 100 miles, and I'm sure I could push it a bit more. I'm sure I could get over 100, but the gas tank is just kind of small. Or it just, I mean, it doesn't seem like it guzzles gas. Like, my fuel consumption is usually around 40 to 50. Let me see. So current consumption is 41.7 miles per gallon. I don't think that's bad. That's really good. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of the only downside, is the range isn't that much. So like, if you wanted to do like a longer ride on this, you're gonna be stopping a fair bit. It's not bad for me because I don't really ride that far. I mean, going to and from work twice will get me to have to fill up. But then again, I only have to put in like 3 gallons, so it's kind of cheap. But I would have liked, and again, not a big deal, I would have liked having a fuel gauge so that you can kind of see when you're starting to get low. Granted, the light, I think when the light goes on, you still have like 20 miles to get to a gas station, but I just hate having that red light like glaring at me. It just gets me nervous and a little anxious, and call me like a pussy, but whatever. I don't like having it on there. Like, this service light is driving me nuts, like absolutely crazy, and I cannot wait to get the first service done, because holy shit, that light is just, oh god, it's just, I wish it would go away. A cool thing though is when your gas light turns on, you automatically get a fuel tripometer, which I think is a nifty little perk, because it'll track how long you've gone since your fuel light went on. It would be like, it's a nice little add-on. You know, it helps. So it kind of eases that anxiety, but at the same time, I constantly find myself looking at it. I'm like, oh god, oh god, oh god, I'm gonna run out of gas, and it's like, no, I'm not. Then again, I've been spoiled. Every bike I've owned has had a fuel gauge, so it's a little different for me. I really need to work on that. That's something I am going to work on, is having more of a direction in my motovlogs, because I don't have a direction when I vlog. I just go out and ride, and I talk to myself, which most people would tell me to go talk to a therapist about, but whatever. This bike handles really well. That is another thing that's great about it. Like, it just, going into a turn, like, I'm a bitch when it comes to turning. Like, my chicken strips can feed probably families of 14 or more easily. But I don't like leaning. I get wigged out when doing it. I want to get better with that. But this bike actually it likes to lean. It feels comfortable leaning it. It comes with good tires on it. It's the Rosso 2s. So they're sticky tires, but they're not going to wear down super quick. So it's not like full race tire like I think the Super Corsas are. That's basically a full race tire. Oh, what do we got here? CBR, nice. Like the Super Corsas are basically a full race tire meant for the road. Now those are super sticky, but you're gonna wear through them real quick. The Rosso 2s are nice because I think these are the tires that have it down the middle of the tire where you're gonna be commuting on the most. It's a harder material, and then on the outsides it's softer, so it gets stickier. Oh god, there's lots of bumps. So it's stickier, and so you can take corners better, but you're not going to wear through the middle before you can, you know, use your tires on the outside. Oh god, what are we doing? Why do we keep stopping? I don't like stopping. Let's ride. Alright, go. Let's move. Give it some gas! I want to keep my channel informative, but I don't want it to be like super professional, because that's not me. Like, I can be professional, and I will in certain situations, but when I'm on my bike, when I'm being just me, I'm a child, dude. Like, I'm a grown man and with a child's personality. And some people might find that weird, but like, that's how I am. I will always be goofy. And so my like ADD version of reviews and stuff, it's not gonna be like a journalist's view on the bike. It's gonna be a raw review of some guy that's just like you and everyone else, that just has a little bit more mechanical knowledge than the average Joe. Any other bike that I do a review on, it's gonna be honest, and I will tell you straight up if I hate the bike or not. I'd love to be able to do full reviews on motorcycles. I don't own a lot of motorcycles. I have 2, so I could always do a review on the 125, but I don't know if I want to ride the 125 anytime soon now that I own this. So what I'm trying to get at is this review is not going to be like others that review this bike. It's not going to be 100% professional, but I don't want it to be. And I hope you guys don't want it to be either, because I want it to be a chill place where you get to learn a little bit about a bike, a little bit about the history, and also, you know, you kind of just relax while listening to it. You don't have to like pay attention because I'm going to be spitting out numbers and math and bullshit. It's like, I'm going to tell you how it feels to ride and whether or not you should buy it or not. And that's, I'm giving this a hell yes, you should buy this bike. If you're in the market for a motorcycle and you like naked bikes, 100% you should buy it. I haven't ridden a Super Duke, I have not ridden the Tuono, but I gotta say that this has the versatility of anything. Like, you can sport tour on this if you wanted, it's just, you're gonna have to fill up gas a lot. But yeah, so I'm gonna say this concludes my review. When I get back home, oh boy, when I get back home, I'll do a walk around of the bike so you can actually see what the bike looks like and not just what it looks like on top of it. All right, so here's a walk around of the bike. Again, I'm not much of a vlogger, so I don't really have a grip or anything. So got a single-sided swing arm. Just kind of get a nice walk around. Show of forks. I really like the black show of forks, or I guess it's dark gray. It has that beautiful headlight. So what I was talking about with the whole Joker thing is got like a receding hairline kind of right there. Comes down to a point, like his chin's I guess right here, you know, eyes and everything. So you can kind of see it. I'll put a comparison up. But I do really like the headlight. A lot of people say the dash sticks out a lot. I guess I'll show you. You guys have kind of seen it a bit, but so show you on the side. I think it sticks out a lot. It does kind of, but I don't know. It's not too bad to me. Kind of get the other side. It's a really clean bike. I love this bike. But yeah, so there's a bit of a walk around. Let me get the back here. Get the seat. Like, the seat's actually really squishy. The passenger seat, I haven't had a passenger on it. There's not much to work with there, but sport bikes normally there isn't. But the seat's actually really comfortable, very squishy. This is the standard one, the stock one. They do make a comfort seat that comes with it. I'm sure it's even better, but this is fairly comfortable. I don't really get tired on this. My butt doesn't hurt like most bikes make it. We'll do a bit of a, let's do a startup and get this nice and close to the exhaust. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention, I guess now that I'm doing this walk around, is it does come pre-set up for heated grips. So you can get the Ducati heated grips. You already got your button there, it actually works, like, it presses it. I think the heated grip wires are somewhere in here. This is where the battery is, so it's somewhere in here. I really gotta reroute this looks terrible. But yeah, that's the Ducati Streetfighter V4. Like I said, guys, like, subscribe, stay tuned, because I'll have a lot more content. I don't really know what, but there'll be more. So, peace, guys.